The Fargone Podcast, presented by This Is Coffee. Premium instant coffee meant to be enjoyed outside. Get yours at thisiscoffee.ca. Alrighty, boys. Another
Yo.
day,
Oh,
another
yeah.
episode.
Dream team back together. Let's go.
Dream Team is back. How are you, gents?
Oh, quite nice. Quite nice. Quite nice
Yeah.
indeed. Reece, where are you right now? Are you up in Whitehorse?
I'm up in Whitehorse. Yep. It's pretty sweet being able to explore this place a little bit and check it out. We've done 3 days of skiing up at SEMA, but yeah, no, pretty sweet.
That's awesome, man. You looking for doll sheep while you're up there too, or are you sneaking around or what?
I might dip down to Carcross. We'll see.
Yeah, nice.
I'd like to. I think we might have a day off on Sunday, so we'll see if I can sneak down there with the rental truck or something. But
yeah,
I've been looking around for critters around the hill, but for whatever reason, the moose aren't wintering around there, so there's nothing hanging around except for us.
Yeah, right on, man. That's awesome. Is this, what is it? I guess just like, obviously, I mean, it's coming down to like the Winter Olympics soon enough. Like, how close are you? How dialed are you guys feeling? Do you have races before the Winter Olympics? I can't quite remember.
Yeah, so we have this is a 2-week camp before our first race. So we're here till November 30th, and then we go back to Calgary, a couple days there, and then fly to France, and that's our first race. Will be in Val Thorens, December 7th, and we have 6 races before the Olympics or so, and those are 6 qualifying races before the Olympics. So I actually technically haven't qualified myself for the games, but what I have done is I've won a spot for the ski cross team going into this game. So I still need to get some good results and solidify myself on the team. And we're taking 4 men from Canada and 4 women. So
Nice.
Still quite a few races, and then kind of like mid-February is when it kicks off, or mid to early February.
Nice, man. Right on. Nice. I'm just calling it right now. Is there anything on Bet365 for making sure? I'm pretty sure I'm going to bet you to go to the Olympics for sure. So, and probably some top 3
I honestly have
money too.
no idea. I have no idea, but I've heard that sometimes there's some parlays out there and stuff like that.
Yes. If
it's not there already, I think we're going to make sure that it happens. You know,
Yes.
we might have to pull some strings or figure something out here, but I'm definitely putting some money down.
I got to talk to
I'm
Dave.
not sure.
Talk to Dave Portnoy from Barstool for sure. Make sure we can get some money on the action here. I've got some insider work on old Reece Howden.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I'm pretty sure you can bet on the World Cup, but I think the Olympics is actually something that you're not allowed to bet on.
Yeah,
so you have to just do some dollar sign bets with the boys around town if you want cash exchange.
There's a back alley bookie that you can find that's doing some Olympic bets, I'm sure.
100%. 100%.
Nice, man. Nice. Oh, that's awesome, dude. How's the team looking, kind of everything so far?
Everybody's good. No one is
no injuries.
Is hurt from the Canadian team. Unfortunately, we actually lost one guy the other day. He did it in his knee. He's like a partner teammate there from Chile. So he was kind of like partnering up with us to kind of, he was going to travel with us and then get all set up for the Olympics. Unfortunately, did his knee yesterday. So that's over for him for now, I think. But yeah, it happens. But
with the territory.
Other than that, the rest of the team is looking really solid.
Awesome, dude. That's going to be sweet. I've probably never been as excited to watch ski cross before the Olympics. It's like every 4 years I really care, but now I'm a little more excited for these World Cup races, bro.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
Big time, dude. I'm going to be following along for sure. Dude, those injuries got to hurt a little bit extra on an Olympic year, though, eh? Like, those have really got to sting.
Yeah. Well, like, this is the craziest ski cross story that we have for, like, going into the games and stuff. Like, in 2010, when we first entered the Olympics, the Canadian team, which was really strong at the time, they're going to the games, and they have their 4 guys selected.
Yeah.
On day 1, a guy breaks his leg, so we bring in Brady Lehman, and he is the first, like, alternate. And so he goes, trains the next day, breaks his leg, and then we bring in our second alternate, and he was actually supposed to forerun the race. But the thing is, if he foreran the track, it would have voided his chances to compete. But like really, like no one, like if you're second pick, you're not going. Like that doesn't happen at all. And so yeah, that was unreal. So he got to be an Olympian, even though like
No way.
showing up to the games, he was 2 behind and
Yeah.
made it all happen. But yeah, no, it ain't over till it's over for sure.
Yeah, man. I
So
mean,
it's like
like, I
those-
can only imagine if you're taking the gate and say you got 2 Canadians in there, someone just kinda, like, whatever, wipes out on the inside and takes both knees out on some guy. All of a sudden, 2 spots go real obviously, it doesn't happen often, but, like, dude, it's a pretty high-speed contact sport with ice, all over the place, and you're in the air for a ton of time. I mean, it's bound to happen.
Bound to happen. Yeah.
Well, for sure.
Those
Wild,
are the
man.
stories too where you're like, you feel terrible for like the dudes at that obviously like had their spot and were there. And then at the same time though, you're also stoked for that dude that like, hey, happenstance happened and now buddy's in there, you know, and he's probably living his dream. He probably
Totally.
got that
Oh,
call like a
sure.
12-pack of beers in and was like, oh, dude, I guess I'm going tomorrow. I guess I'm an Olympian now.
I haven't
Yeah.
I haven't done my conditioning for the past 2 months. Like, what the hell? I can barely make it to the
But-
bottom.
Thought
Yeah,
the
the
dream
funny thing
was
too is
done.
like Brady Lehman went and broke his leg there. And then the next games, he in Sochi, 4th, and then in Pyeongchang, he won a gold medal. So
Totally. Yeah. It's
Dude, that's awesome.
pretty wild, man. Pretty wild.
Yeah.
It's cool. Well, amongst that
It's-
news, I mean, I don't really have any other big news, but I think there's some big news on this podcast here that's just recently launched from Fargone Media, now Fargone Outfitters, man. Nolan, congratulations, dude. I know this is I know it's been in the works for a long time, obviously, but congrats, man. That's a pretty big deal. What is I think it's probably
Thank you.
just goes without saying. What is Fargone Outfitters?
Yeah, Fargone Outfitters is well, thanks for saying that too, Matt. I appreciate it. Definitely has been a long time coming, and I cannot believe that we're here today on kind of launch day with that too. So, but Fargone Outfitters is essentially just like an online store curated for Canadians. Our goal is just to make that experience, as you know, as Canadians, consumers, we have such a hard time getting gear. Once we get it or we purchase something in the States, then we get hit with duties and tariffs and all of this stuff, bringing it across the line. Or half the time we can't even order it unless if we have a US credit card. There's just so many things that come into play with that. And then when it shows up, if it shows up, I've had that happen multiple times. We order something, then it gets lost coming across the border or whatever. There's just a lot of issues that we as Canadians experience. And that's kind of where we set out to say, hey, how can we change this? How can we start importing? Obviously, as a media company, we were shooting for a lot of these companies. And we would get Instagram messages or all this stuff being like, hey, where can I actually try that First Light jacket? Where can I like, does it fit? I want to order one, but I don't have a US credit card, all that stuff. So that's kind of where we just said, hey, how can we go and create a store where we're warehousing this stuff in Canada, where Fargone's actually covering the duties and the tariffs? So the price that you see on the website is the price that you're paying, and it's going to arrive to your door efficiently, just like you would expect if it's freaking Amazon or something, right? So
Yeah.
that's the store, fellas. That's the store.
It's super wild. I mean, obviously I don't think you can't like if you throw a rock, you're landing within and you're in a hunting community. There's probably a conversation going on that's exactly this.
Yeah.
Where do you try something on? Where do you look at stuff? I mean, not to mention like the meteoric rise of like Meat Eater, which then obviously First Light started out right as like still is probably one of the best merino wool companies, right? Right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
like they're a big one, and then people knew them for that. But whatever, you could get Icebreaker up here, and there's a lot of merino companies, so not a big deal. But then with a meteoric rise of Meat Eater, them purchasing First Light, they're running it all the time. You got guys like Remy on it, so you got
Yeah.
lots of exposure. But like, I've never even put a piece of First Light gear in my hand. You know what I
Really?
mean? Not once. Like, I have no idea. I don't know anybody who runs it, like besides
Yeah.
you, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, again, because you shoot all that media for them. So like, that's usually how it ends up happening. Like the only
Yeah,
guy I know
exactly.
who's runs it, who's Canadian, is Nick Treehern, and again, same deal. He freaking shoots a lot of content for it. So I mean, it's one of those things. I'm like, yeah, I would love to put some First Light gear on, but anytime I look at it, and I'm like, what? I don't know. I've never tried it on a
How
day
are
in my
you going to
life.
get it?
First time I broke and ordered Stone Glacier pants, like they'd fit Reece, and I'm about a foot shorter than him. And
Exactly.
I'm like, okay, well, these are sweet. And it's like, hey, I want to send these back. And it's like, oh yeah, you just got to pay to ship them back. I'm like, I got to pay you $40 to ship these back? No. Like, I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll just like run fucking long pants for the rest of my hunting season. And
Oh, yeah.
then and I think I just gave them to a buddy or something like that. I'm like, wow, that was a sweet use of $230. So, you know, like
Gotta
having a
love it.
store that's local, man, is everything. Are you guys gonna do like a fitting room? Are you guys gonna be able to try stuff on if somebody like came in?
Yeah, so we are going to be doing our big emphasis is going to be on events. So we're really going to try to
Yes.
make sure to head out to events like the Canadian Archery Challenge, like all of
Yes.
these different spots, so that people can physically touch the gear, right?
Dude, yeah.
Down the line, we would love to have a showroom, and that's something that we are going to be actively trying to work towards. But for now, our big emphasis is like, okay, hey, how can we be at shows?
Yeah.
How can we be at events like the Canadian Archery Challenge? How can we be at all of these different things and give people as many opportunities to try on the gear that we're stocking? Yeah, so
Nice.
that's kind of the goal. And I would say too, and a big question that we've even been getting asked too, we are going to be carrying a lot more than just First Light.
Sure.
And FHF and some
Whatever.
other brands like
Yeah.
that too. So
Yeah.
that's all coming down the line. We have optics coming. We have working on a bunch of, we have tents, sleeping bags, everything like that all coming in. A lot of brands too that are yet to be available in Canada, that we've been able to leverage different relationships or something to say, hey, like, you guys are direct to consumer or whatever, but at the same time that doesn't work in Canada. How the heck can we bring this crap in here
Yeah.
so that Canadians can actually use this stuff? And then once again, like I said, okay, how can we now as a brand head out to these different events that people can actually get hands on too? Because even though we are trying to obviously help a lot of these problems that we get as Canadian consumers, nothing like compares to actually being able to put your hands on that tent, put your hands on, put
For
that
sure.
jacket on, see how it actually fits you,
Dude.
you know? So
Yeah, what it feels
that's
like.
a
I
big
mean,
goal that we're working on.
I think we talked a lot about this last week or whatever, a couple weeks ago when we were chatting about rain gear. Like, you get some rain gear, like, and it's noisy as shit, and you're a bow hunter, you're like not
Yeah.
stoked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's really hard to tell, but if it sounds like, you know, 1990s, you know, Adidas track pants and you're swishing your way through the bush, like it's not exact. You're not super stoked, right? So, and there's no way to figure that stuff out without putting your hands on it and actually going for it. I mean, literally, for years now, like I've been going to Western Hunt Expo for a few years, Sheep Show for a while. Like, that's what I tell people. I'm like, yeah, you should make like a $3,000 or $4,000 trip just to go down and touch some of these, put boots on and put this on. And that's why I tell them, go to the Penticton Hunting Expo or Penticton Mountain Expo and whatever. Did Chris ever get back to you about that? Are you guys freaking able to sneak a booth in there?
Sadly, I don't think we're going to be able to sneak a booth, but we're going to be running around, walking around. We're going to make sure to be at a couple other shows too, and we're going to get a little bit more on the ball here too for next year, and be sure to kind of get into a booth there next year for
the
sure.
Penticton one, literally, it's like it's booked within a month. Like, I know, and I'm not gonna, hopefully I'm not speaking to out of turn on their behalf, but there's people that were like, damn, we got to kick some of these other booths out that aren't going to generate a lot of people going to it. Like, I'm going to, nobody's coming to see AJ and a couple of e-bikes, that fucking guy. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We love you, AJ.
I'm totally kidding. But you know what I mean? Like, versus like trying to put something in where like, wow, because we have First Light and whatever in from Fargone Outfitters in there. What we should do is we should maybe chat and see if I can't get a couple of, maybe, I don't need a ton of space in that coffee booth of mine. So like I can frickin', So it's tiny, but like we could maybe like just hang a sign up, and then maybe hang
Hey,
a
dude.
couple things on the I think there's
Like I
nothing wrong
said,
with
man,
that.
we're planning on being there, whether it's showing off gear or just shaking some hands and
You're gonna
chatting with some
you're
guys. So
you're walking around and you've got like a trench coat full of watches, except you got like a trench coat on. It's just multi-layered with like piece of rain gear after piece of rain gear. You're like, what
it's
do you
the
think about
freaking
this?
Michelin man, like taking off layers. Like, oh yeah, I actually got a medium, large, and extra large jacket on.
Yeah.
What size are you? Why don't you give that one a go? Oh, it looks good on you. You can buy it at fargone.ca.
You got like 7 bino harnesses with all the different optics in there too. You're just walking around. Hey
Oh,
man,
frick, man.
dude, making
Dude.
it work.
Just trying it, man. We're just trying to bootstrap some stuff here. What can I say? The show is sold out. So,
Nice, dude. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it'd be awesome. Yeah, if we could try and get a sign up in my booth and then have some stuff hung up, I think that'd be absolutely dynamite.
dude, we would love that, man, for
Yeah,
sure. So,
for sure.
yeah, boys, like I said, thanks for all the words about that. We're pretty stoked. It's we did not realize how big of an undertaking this would be kind of when we started. I'm so grateful for the team that we've been able to build over here at Fargone, because honestly, man, I couldn't have freaking done this thing. Like,
Dude,
I'm like,
and I mean, just
oh
knowing
my
Nolan is like the
gosh.
most positive guy on the planet. He's like, yeah, man, we're gonna bring all these brands in, and then there's
Yeah,
definitely a guy behind the scenes like, oh no, you
exactly.
said what?
That's
Oh my
exactly what
god, how are
happened.
we gonna even make this work? Such
Oh,
just
dude.
ideas, man. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. What's been the
But,
biggest?
dude,
What's like probably the number one, or maybe top two if you want, but like, what's been the number one, like maybe biggest hurdle that you've had to overcome? Like, is it something to do with regulations? Is it something to do with some sort of a obscure license that you're like need to be to import certain clothing? Like, is there been
yeah.
something along those lines?
Yeah, I would say there's a couple things. Like, I think the first thing is, first of all, and some brands we had an easy time with this, but some brands we have had a difficult time. But first of all, convincing people that we're worthy to carry their gear, which is sometimes funny when we're the ones shooting a lot of their marketing material already. So you're like, okay, my face is like in your ad, but I can't carry your product in our store. Okay, sounds good. So that's been one thing for sure. That's always like a funny one. That to be honest, I didn't expect. Like, going into it, I was just like, oh, it'll be so easy. I'll just like leverage all of our connections. Like I said, my face is on their most recent email blast, so might as well like carry the product, sell it to Canadians. And it's like, whoa, actually, no, you can't. So that's been one that I would say was very unexpected. Some expected hurdles that took a lot longer though. Like, man, we had everything pretty much ready to go in like September, and that was our original launch date. But we've been waiting on this like importer number for like, frick, man, that's 3 months or whatever. And it's like
Yeah.
little things like government things that you're like trying to figure out. And also too, like, some product you just straight up can't import because of like certain materials and things like
Yes.
that. So just learning that whole side of things is wild, man. And it's like a whole new world. And like I said, dude, I'm not even going to begin to like start saying like, yeah, I figured this out and whatever.
Totally.
We have people around me that figured that stuff out, and I'm so grateful for, because this project would have been dead in the water a long time
Yeah.
ago if it was just me trying to bash my head up against the wall type of thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man, there's been lots of hurdles. Like, and I think every day we're getting into more hurdles. And
Yeah.
but dude, we're freaking bootstrapping her and we're figuring her out, and
Yeah.
we're taking it day by day. And dude, I've even like, we launched the website today, the amount of text messages I've gotten from guys being like, yeah, dude, site looks awesome, but this one thing needs to change. I'm like, okay, shoot, like getting it over to like the
Yeah.
web guys.
Yeah.
So like, we're figuring it out, man. And we're really excited though. Like I said, we feel like this is kind of like a soft launch. Obviously, we have pretty selective brands on there right now. But in the next coming months, man, like, we got some names that we're really excited to share about. And some brands that I know that a lot of Canadians are really trying to get their hands on. So we're excited to kind of like see where this thing goes, especially in the next couple months as inventory and everything like that starts to build. And frick, man, like I said, we just want to make that experience good on Canadian hunters. And like I said, we don't mind, like, just straight up, dude, we're paying the the duties and the tariffs on the product. Like, it's not like we're exempt.
Yeah.
We're
Oh,
just
yeah.
taking it out of the
Definitely
profit.
not.
Our profit. Yeah, exactly. But dude, like I said, it sucks, man, as a Canadian to look at that price on like a US website and be like, oh, with conversion, that should be this. You pay, you hit send, you pay, and the next thing you know, it comes to your door and it's extra $300,
Dude,
$400.
I mean,
So it's
yeah,
yeah,
I freaking used to there's this aero company that sponsored the podcast, like when I was on like the Quick and Dirty podcast I did
yeah,
through Beyond the Kill
yeah.
and Vector Arrows, which then had to get changed or whatever because they got sued by Easton, which was some BS. But anyways, such nice guys. Isaac, those boys down there,
Isaac
great.
built their website.
Yeah. Oh, no
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Isaac he's at Kafaru now, right?
No, he's not. So he actually owns like a consulting business where he does like websites and all this
Yeah.
different stuff and
He,
things
yeah,
like
he has
that.
like a
So,
media company and stuff. I'm pretty sure he's with
yeah.
Kafaru too, like doing something
He's
digital.
not anymore.
Not
He's
anymore?
not anymore.
No kidding.
Not for a couple or for a year or so now.
Jeez,
Yeah.
yeah, Christ,
But
out of
so
the
he's
loop clear
been
here, obviously.
but he's like consults and like does like he did Kafaru's website.
Yeah.
He did like
Okay.
Go Fast website, like a bunch of other people
Gotcha.
like that.
Yeah,
So he did our
he's a-
website too.
he's a freaking beauty. And I mean, like,
He's a gem.
we were doing some stuff. We met when I was at the Winter Strong event, Sornex, South Carolina, having fun. He's like, yeah, dude. I said, oh, well, let's try and do something. Let's get your arrows up into a Canadian market. Got a lot of bow hunters on things. He's like, well, it's good. I think it'd be our arrows with the way our veins are, blah, 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 whatever, archery shit. And he like texts me. He's like, hey, man, I'm trying to send you these arrows so Lauren can shoot them and stuff on some hunts we have coming up. He's like, how do I send stuff to Canada? And it's not just our side. Like, some brands have it figured out, but those brands are usually, rhyme with Sitka and they're massive and they can absorb costs and stuff. But if it's maybe a little bit smaller or maybe the budget isn't insane, it's not easy to send stuff here. And then Isaac sends up frickin' some arrows and, they get to my door. And obviously I, full disclosure, didn't pay for the arrows. Get to my door, $95. And I'm like, so then I have some buddies like they listen to it on the website, like, how I'm like, I really like the arrows, like whatever. So they order them up. They order 6. By the time it's all said and done, and the exchange rate wasn't even as bad as it is now. By the time it's all said and done, they're into 6 arrows for like $310. You're terrified to shoot any of these arrows outside of like a 20 by 20 target. You're like, not a chance. Like, I ain't
in an enclosed area,
like a Reinhardt octagon, like deep through some wood. No, thank you. I'm gonna go Amazon arrows all day on these. Like, it's brutal.
dude. That's like freaking picking up a pair of those Ultra View arrows, dude. With those prices,
man. Yeah, that's what I mean.
They actually made the market for those prices of those arrows, dude. Little did they know is the Canadian consumer that paved the way for
dude, it
really
totally
freaking expensive arrows.
Totally was. And anyway, I feel, and you feel bad. Like, guys are like, hey, I ordered these, but like, man, they were double by the time the exchange rate hit me, and then all the things, because I'm like looking at it on the website and whatever, and it just literally turns me off ordering stuff. Like, I look at it, I'm like, and the other thing, I'm never really sure how much duty's gonna be. Some days you order, like, I'll get a Wilderness Athlete order comes up, and I'm like, it's free. Other days it's $20. One day it's 600, and you're like, well, I'm sending this back. Like, it's like you're trying to order cigarettes from Europe or something like that. You're like, why am I being penalized for like protein powder? Like, I don't know. It's nuts, man.
It's true, dude. So like I said, hey, as Fargone, we're absorbing all those costs. So like, our goal is that Canadian freaking like consumer just has an amazing experience. Because even too, man, like even with the like, put aside the cost, but I know some guys too, like one of my buddies who is more well off. He doesn't really give a rip about the cost. But the big thing is like the shipping and the experience. Like a couple of years ago, I ordered him a pair of binos through one of like my discount codes or something. And dude, like, well, first of all, they showed up and they were double the price of what he paid for them. But like I said, he was the type of dude that doesn't really care about that. But the problem is that they took so freaking long to show up, and they showed up 3 days after he left for his hunt. And he's like, sick, really happy I ordered these brand new pair of binos that I was so excited to use on this hunt.
Yeah.
And they showed up after I left. So,
Every
like I
time.
said, man, there's a lot of problems that we experience as Canadian consumers, and we're really trying to like go out and change that, and hopefully just dude, Canada's the mecca. Like it, like yeah, you talk about Bozeman, you talk about all these places, and you go there, and yeah, it's crazy that they got freaking billboards of like hunting ads and all of this stuff. But dude, Canada, man, you talk to any dude in the States, their dream is to hunt in Canada. Like we do live in the mecca. So the fact that hunting gear is this hard for us to get
Totally.
is insane. It's
Totally.
absolutely insane.
Well, I know
So,
like working with wilderness athlete for the past whatever, I don't know however many years, maybe more like 6 years with those guys. I mean, I joke all the time when I see them, you know, both shows in the early beginning of the year. I'm always like, when are you guys going to give me, you know, exclusive rights to ship this stuff out of Canada? Because I'll give someone like a 25% off discount code, but they're still getting, like, if you're going to get like a consumable outside of just like energy and focus or hydrate and cover, if you're going to get some freaking fish oil from those guys, by the time it gets up here, it's the most, you might as well just buy a fishing boat and go start catching fish and creating your own fish oil. Cause you know, you're going to come out in the long run, probably the fucking same. It's so ridiculous. And so I'm like, man, and really the biggest thing for them, they're not up here because it's definitely harder with the supplement world than gear
for
and like
sure.
clothing, is because
Yeah.
they need to then have double labels on everything because they
Yeah.
need the French side. And then
Yeah.
at that point, you're like, well, for us to print off, like have like a separate batch of smaller, so it's going to cost us more money to print the separate label. I keep saying, I'm like, dude, you should just have like task it to me and I'll just literally have a sticker on the box and I'm just gonna like hand bomb a
Slap it
sticker on the
on.
freaking box and like there it is and there's your ingredients or whatever. But it's brutal, like the hoops you got to jump through, and for only whatever 35 million Canadians, and then X amount or whatever, there's like the numbers, the math doesn't math on us
No, it doesn't.
getting greater expansion for something like having to have French on the label. So it's, which
Yeah.
is super tough, man. Because then it's just, you're like, all right, well, what company like can I get from? And I mean, I tell most people go to Costco and get BioSteel or something like that. Then you can add some salt in it yourself. It's cost effective, it's affordable. But if there's a smaller supplement company out there, maybe you want to support like more of like a smaller one, and like something like Wilderness Athlete that puts a lot back into conservation and into hunting content and all the things that we like to see. God, man, you know, like the financial game of it's a big one, right? So it's freaking tough. So to have somebody like you guys at least paving the way, and then maybe you end up saying like, if you have like a little you have some proof of concept, and you're like, leave the French labeling up to us and like send us your whatever, and then we can like have it on the outside of the box, and maybe it doesn't look the best, but at least people are getting Wilderness Athlete up here.
Exactly. No, dude, that's all in the game plan for sure. And I wouldn't say anything's kind of out of the question. Because we know, like I said, man, our ultimate goal is to make that experience a lot better on Canadian customers. And that's just the fact. And that's even down to the website and everything. It's like we want that experience to be as simple as easy. And hey, you know what? If there is an opportunity down the line, like I said, to slap some labels on some French speaking labels, because I speak such great French, on some packaging here, it's like, dude, like none of that stuff's out of the question, right? So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
that'd be
man,
cool.
yeah.
I
So,
love it.
like,
Freaking A.
like I said, we cannot believe that we're here. Like we're so excited about it, and we have a lot kind of stuff coming down. Everything from films to everything along. We're still a media company at the root of it, right? So it's like we have a lot of content, a lot of different stuff popping out, blog posts to everything.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
if you're a listener, check out fargone.ca. That's a little selfish plug right there, but
100%.
we would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, man. That's great. Yeah, I remember with like Hilleberg, that was the big thing. I was like, yeah, where can I like buy one of these Hilleberg tents? And kind of like, oh, it's this fabric made in Estonia called Kurlon. They're not allowed in Canada because they can't tell the fire retardant rating on it or whatever. And I was like, yeah, it'll burn. What do you mean? Like, you think my Kuyu tents fire like this stuff's gonna melt into oblivion? What are you talking about? Like,
They always do.
that stuff like that, you're like, man, who like there's no rating for this of these like this material that clearly is not meant to be beside flame. Come on.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah, I don't know, stuff like that.
some of the stuff's just common sense with that stuff
Common
too.
sense.
I'm like, ugh, but there's just so many. Like I said, I did not realize how many freaking hoops there was to jump through. But there's a lot of hoops to jump through when it comes to those things. So
And just got to
yeah.
be bogged down with like just government nonsense or whatever,
Oh,
hey?
it's
Have you filled out Form 7B? You need 7B to be in this lineup. You're like, what?
yeah. You missed the period. What the heck? You got to redo it. That's going to be another 3 weeks.
Yeah, back of the line. It's like the soup Nazi from
So-
Seinfeld, man. Just like,
Exactly.
boom, no
No
license for
period.
you. Thrown to the back. 1 month suspension. No.
What do you mean? I
Yeah.
tried so hard. I thought I
Shit.
did it. I double read it.
Dude, no doubt, man. Oh, that's cool,
Frick,
man. I'm
boys.
stoked for you guys. I'm excited to come. I'm excited to see how it all goes.
Hey, well, we appreciate it, guys. So, yeah, we're like I said, we're stoked. So,
Nice.
but it's speaking of along these gear talks, and this isn't about Fargone anymore, but like, how have you guys been playing around with anything? Because I've been playing around with these electro-optics all freaking season long now, and I'm a believer to say the least. But I don't know if you guys have been playing around with any other pieces of gear or anything like that. I feel like it's been a little bit since we've chatted like some proper gear talk. But has there been anything that you guys have just been like, holy, this has been wild and have really appreciated, or anything that you picked up that you're like, you know what, dude, get this out of my freaking bag.
If you got anything,
Well,
Reece, go for
explain
it.
to me what's the electro optics you're talking about? Are they
In specific,
SIG.
the SIG ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay?
So the ones with like the image stabilizer in them, I've been using them all season long. Everything from like Alpine to we used them on our float hunt to everything, man. Even down to like jumping on the Fraser and like in the boat type of stuff and everything, man. And they're wild. They are absolutely wild. Like it is
Yeah,
just
I've heard they're
crazy,
unreal.
dude. They're insane. Like I understand, and yes, there is arguments on it on one side of it where like, yes, the glass quality is not that of like a Swaro or anything like that. The price point is also a little bit more justified too, I would say, in regards to the glass quality. But having the advantage of that little gimbal in your freaking Bino, man, like, dude, I've given them to like 3 or 4 different buddies. Cole actually took him out on a sheep hunt, and he just got back to me and he's like, dude, I'm not going sheep hunting without these things ever again. He's like, the fact that I can see this is it's just wild, dude. Like taking out the shake, the being able to hike into something, quickly pop up one hand, like huffing and puffing, and be able to like see a steady image is just lights out. It's
Man, I think
insane.
it's funny right now. I feel like there's this shift, like a little bit of a shift in the world of kind of hunting. So like this year, like a lot of guys, like I run range finding binos mostly. Like the only reason I run range finding binos is for guiding, because if it's not going well and a client shooting, which obviously happened, like, and it's just and if it's tight and you can't quite get the rangefinder up with 3 power, like my loophole rangefinder's money, but it's still, if I'm looking, if it starts at 270 and it's working its way through something and you're also maybe not quite perfectly steady and you're kind of 3 powering it, they're like, how far? You're like, somewhere around between 4 and 475, like that's the difference. So
It's a
I
big
think running
difference.
range finding binos has always been like really
Yeah.
nice for that. But I do feel like this year, like, and like way more guys who are really into glass ran non-range finding binos, and they always have, because of the glass clarity from like it. Like if you, I'm sure you have, you looked through like a 14 power NL Pure.
Dude, it's insane.
It's
Like I said,
ridiculous.
there's no fighting
It's a
it.
cheat code. It's absurd. Like if you run NL Pures off a freaking tripod, man, or like it's weird to look through them
100%.
because you're like, I feel like maybe it's a little more clear than my vision. Like they're so good. It's crazy. And you're like, well, that's pretty wild. So there's like this group that's like, you know what, I'm going back to a rangefinder and a non-range finding binocular because the glass is just insane.
It's lights out.
And then there's this
Lights out.
other paradigm of like, I want all the tech you can jam into my binoculars that I can be doing an Irish jig and
Yeah.
it's just spinning around and it just locks it super steady.
Yeah.
I mean, like I fiddled around with a pair this year, but I haven't really like used them, so I couldn't. Whatever, it'd be like using a tent in my backyard, being like, nah, I've
Yeah.
given it a good review. Like that's not obviously.
And it works good.
Yeah, it's
In
great.
my
Set
backyard.
it up, put it back down. It was awesome. So like I
Yeah.
get like I can't give them a fair shake, but I do just feel like it's an interesting split in the world right now where it's like
Mhm.
the range finding, I guess the ballistic side of things, if you're really into shooting, like those ice ones, I just know those more just because I use them with Lorne. But like those ice ones have like an insane and more have them than just that, but like have the crazy barometer in there for like
Yeah.
the pressures and the
Yeah.
altitude you're at. And you're just like it's telling you where to dial. Like holy crap, like that's lots going on. And then there's
A
obviously
lot of
this kind, but I mean,
information. Yeah.
for somebody who I don't really like trying to shoot more than 400 yards anyways. Like I feel like it's not really hunting long range shooting. I'm gonna catch some flack for that, but whatever is what it is. Yeah, I feel like that those SIG ones I'm pretty eager to get my hands on. I'll say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
Well, next time you
mid-range
drop
ones
through,
is the one like the mid one is the one that people have talked about being the best. Not the biggest 14 power, but the middle one.
well, they go up to 18 or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. I got a
Maybe it is
couple,
the
I think.
14, not the 18. I can't remember, but
Yeah, yeah, the 14s are pretty lights, but to be honest, man, I've been having a blast with all of
yeah.
them. Like, it's like I am such a believer, and I will genuinely, like, at the beginning of the year, I was like, "Yeah, I used them once or twice." I'm like, they're cool, and I think that they do have, like, sweet function and stuff like this, like, kinda similar to what your mindset was, Matt, where it's like, "Okay, cool, like, I use this in the backyard, and I think that there could be advantages, but whatever." But hunting with them for a full season now, like, I'm like, dude, like, I will never go back. I went out on this most recent blacktail hunt just to, like, try something different. I grabbed my range finding binoculars, and I was so pissed off I didn't bring my freaking electro-optics on there, like, the whole time. I'm like, dude, I cannot underestimate. It's just wild how big of a difference the fact that you can spot way more game, the fact that especially like being able, there's just so many more movements you can do with it. It's wild. Like, and I genuinely would go on the record and say, I guarantee you, you will see more game with those things on as
Does
opposed to not having them. I would say I'm not sold on the spotter. I don't necessarily love the spotter. I don't think it's that. Um, I would way rather just have better glass on the spotter. I'm just like, that's
yeah.
just the honest truth on it. On the spotter, I'm not sold on. I think it's cool. Yeah, like you don't need a tripod, but I'm really like, if I'm pulling out a spotter, I'm gonna have a tripod out. So it's like one of those things. I think that's really where the argument could be said for better glass. Cause like I said, I'm like, dude, I'm itching for better glass because of it. But in regards to the binoculars, dude, it's lights out, man. I don't know what else to say. And I would fight anyone to the death on it.
That
To the
does
death.
does frickin' does SIG have like a patent on that?
I think they have a patent on the software, but not on the or it goes, or maybe not on the mechanics, or it's vice versa.
Yeah.
Because there's another company out there like that literally look like spit and image. But I think it's the software that they have the patent on.
Did they? Yeah, like that's what I was wondering if it's like a company, like whatever, let's just call it gimbal image company.
Yeah,
They created what goes
yeah,
inside and then basically were like, this is what we got. And then went to whatever brand and said, how much money you want to give us? And
exactly.
whatever. Or are they doing it with all of them? Or is like, I guess more companies can do it. Like, I don't know if they patented it at some point or because I imagine that
Dude,
you're gonna see I'd be
yeah,
shocked if at the shows you don't see at least one or two other brands
100%. They
coming
have
out
to.
with this.
They have to. Like I
For
said, and
sure.
if you hunt with them, they're that big of a game changer that you want to throw all of your other binos in the garbage, unless if you're planning on using them with the tripod.
Yeah.
So it's like they absolutely have to. I think it's going to be a Tesla situation. They come out with the freaking like electric car, makes everyone fired up on electric cars, and then Audi goes and makes a way better electric car.
Sure.
And it's just like, there you go. Like
Yeah.
it could very well happen, and I would imagine it happening. But as it sits right now in the current landscape, like I said, everything else is in the freaking trash. Grab yourself a pair of those freaking Sig Zulus, and you're gonna be very happy.
Nice. They have two. Remind me. They have two lines. There's one better glass line and one.
Yeah, so they have like
Lower end?
more of like what they call like the HDX Pros.
Yeah.
They're a little bit bigger. I like the fact that they resemble more of a traditional binocular. The smaller ones, I have a hard time with how my hand sits on them, which I think is like a really big thing for me. Is just like, hey, I want to be comfortable. I want to be able to
Yeah.
like grab it, know where
light.
my hands are, know where the focus point is. So the HDX Pros are the ones that I definitely grab more often than not.
Yeah.
And the software I think is a little bit different. I find that you're able to have an easier time scanning big time on it. And honestly, I don't know if it actually is, but it feels like the gimbal is that much better on them as well, where everything is just really freaking steady. That being said, they are a touch heavier, but honestly, I couldn't give two rips about it.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, man. Boys, I actually had a really interesting topic of conversation that I wanted to touch on as well here. Here's one for you. So I was out mule deer hunting 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And this is one that I feel like is up for debate, but I'd be really interested to get your guys' takes on. Long story short, we get into our spot, right? And there's like a hiking trail in. So what do? We drive our machine as far as we can to like the start of the trailhead. So we kind of do that, drop the machine at the start of the trailhead, hike on in, and kind of where we're getting into is like these two funnel zones, and then there's kind of like two really like small ridges that you can kind of sit on, jump up there, glass, and you're obviously seeing if any deer are making their way up. Kind of have like one guy on this side, one guy on that side, being able to check into both zones, right? Really small zone, not enough for like multiple hunters by any means. So we get in there.
I know where this is
obviously
going already for
yeah,
sure.
and this is an interesting topic of conversation because I've been thinking about it after the story to be like, am I in the wrong? Is the other person in the wrong? Is this just uneducation? What does hunter's etiquette look like? That's where it's going.
Yeah.
So, long story short, we get into our zone, right? We set up camp right on kind of like the cresting point of the one ridge. It's like pretty much the only funnel that you'd make up there. We set up camp there, and now it's like night or day 2 or whatever. And then from camp, we hike on up a little bit more and we're at our glassing point, and that's kind of where we've been glassing out. Long story short, on like day 2 of our hunt or something, we see headlamps on the other valley kind of making their way up. Early morning, we're like, okay, weird. Like they just obviously walked right by the quad, not a big deal. Like in my head, I'm like, oh, if there's a quad there, I probably wouldn't have gone into that zone. But I understand, like, hey, there you go. It's they could be anywhere. Walk up the one ridge line, pass our camp, and then continue walking right past our glassing zone. So this is my thought to you guys and my question. And it turns out, honestly, the guys after found me on Instagram, super nice dudes. We had a great interaction with them, really nice people. But my question is there such thing as hunter's etiquette? And is it something that in a situation like that, in British Columbia, where I feel like we do have zones to be able to get enough free space from each other, is there a thing that is hunter's etiquette where you can almost kind of claim a small zone, or is that something that honestly I'm completely out to lunch on? And I've been abiding by that rule. If I see a quad, if I see tents or something, I'll often be like, oh, hey, they beat me to the spot, I'm heading to a different zone. But maybe I'm in the wrong with that. So I'd be interested to get both of your guys' takes on a situation like that, and if you've encountered anything similar to that as well.
Go for it, Reece.
Well, so actually, I kind of had something similar to this with this year. And so basically, I went up into it was the opener for Spike Fork Bull, and went up into this moose zone. And I went up at like 5:30 p.m. at night there because I was busy during the day. And the following morning was the opener, and basically went in to the end of the kind of trail where I thought I was going to have the best glassing opportunity and stuff like that. Set up my camp, went to bed, and then apparently that night, so if I showed up there at 7:30, I think some guys showed up there at like 8 or 8:15, and they went up the same trail that I did, past my truck and stuff. And then they camped kind of like halfway between my truck and where I was camped, kind of thing, up on this big open area. And so up in this big burn kind of deal. And, and then in the morning, it was like totally socked in, couldn't see 50 yards kind of thing. So I was, what ended up happening is I was walking back down the kind of makeshift trail getting into this area because it was the only place you could be half decently quiet and see a little bit. Ended up seeing a cow moose and stuff. And it turns out they were actually walking the other way. So we met and communicated and stuff. And basically what we kind of did is we exchanged numbers because there was some service up there and stuff. And we were just like, okay, their tent's here. There's tons of really good moose country there. Sure, I might be in like the honey hole, but I got in there first kind of thing. But we're like, yeah, hey, if you guys get a moose, let me know and I'll come help and we can kind of share the meat around a bit. And if I get a moose, you guys can come help and we can do the same thing. And so the rest of that day was kind of like a wash. Like it kind of cleared up right before dark and saw a little bit of stuff, but that was it. And then in the morning on day 2 of the season, November 2nd, it was like unreal. From one spot, I counted 8 moose, 5 bulls.
Yeah.
And they were just popping out of everywhere. And those guys were over hunting kind of this other area. I ended up getting a bull and I called them, got into contact with them, and they came out and helped. But actually at the same time we had 2 trucks parked at this trailhead. But at the same time, someone else came on the second day of the season, parked their vehicle there and hiked up the trail as well. And they hiked past his camp or the first guy's camp and chatted with them. And then after I shot my bull, I was going back to grab my gear and kind of reorganize and ran into them.
Yeah.
And it kind of depends like on how big the area is. Like I was fine with it. I knew that it was kind of like a more popular area for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, it also sucks. Like you drive into the trailhead, your whole day this is your plan for the day. And then there's a whole bunch of people there. You either have to scratch the plan, and not everybody has a whole bunch of days off like me and stuff to go and do these sorts of hunts. So you go up there and make it work or not. But yeah, I don't know. It's like sometimes it just kind of is the way it is. And other times, you can like if you're sheep hunting and you run into some guys like, hey, where was your plan? And obviously, and typically someone is there first. And that kind of, in my opinion, if you're there first, you kind of have priority.
Yeah.
That being said, like you kind of have to you still have to pick a spot. You're not going to be just like, oh, well, I'm going to go into this huge zone. And if I don't see rams here, I want to go here. And if I don't see rams here, I want to go here. Can I be like, hey, I want to go this area? And then if there's the next zone is there, then they can kind of go there kind of thing. But yeah, I almost kind of usually think of it more of like a teamwork kind of deal. Like, hey, I'm going to hunt this area and then you guys hunt this area. And if we both kind of do that, then we'll probably find, a legal ram or a legal critter kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. It sometimes sucks when guys walk past your truck, especially when you're like walking slow. I think I'm really not cool with the, quadding past someone walking up
That's a
small
different
road,
story.
but also like if it's a road you can drive up and they have plans to go hunt somewhere else, then kind of is the way it is. But I don't know.
Maybe
It's
I should rephrase it. I'm more talking about a small zone, one ridge line in. You're only really hunting this one small section. There's not enough room for kind of multiple hunters, unless hey, they're going way the heck back there. But looking at the terrain, there's really no reason to go way the heck back there. You're kind of like the money zone is right in there. And like I said, then there is hey, there's a camp. Like you can get one about saying, hey, you walk past the machine. Obviously, there's a trailhead there. Get into the trailhead. Okay, now you're actually on the physical ridge. Okay, now you pass a camp. I'm going to keep going, Like, I think that's more of the question about saying, okay, small zone, is there an etiquette there? Or is it something that's, you know what? No, like, there's not. You don't own it. You don't own this area. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, anyone can do whatever the heck they want to do. And that's cool too, right? I could be in the wrong.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
you know, I think it's a little bit. I think it's kind of the same thing. Like, I'm definitely a believer in, you know, if it is, it's, you know, we fortunately live in a free country, and if your legs can get you there, you can go there. But yeah, like it's always nice when guys can, you know, not really wreck hunts, because we all know that we want to be out there, and you don't want to see guys. I know I hate seeing people when I'm out there, and the way that I hunt is to try to avoid that as much as possible. But um, yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty easy about it for the most part. Like, I think, you know, if you're sitting there glassing and you show up to somewhere and they're sitting there glassing and you can see what they can see, you better make sure you're hunting everything that they can't see.
Yeah.
You're not being like, well, there's something there, or whatever. But yeah, there's definitely etiquette, but it's beyond gray. Beyond
For
gray.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that it's tough. It's if it's a small zone, and you know, Reece kind of hit it on the head with that story in Emmy season, is like, if you can just be a good human. Hey
Yeah.
man, I've been coming up here for 6 years. Or, hey man, I'm new. This is the only spot. I saw it on the map. I don't even know where I'm going up
Mhm.
here. I saw your camp, saw that stuff. Mind if we share a camp next couple nights? Hey, I know it's a small zone, but this is all I got. Very rarely, and if someone's like, F you, get the hell out, blah, 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 then I would just out hunt them and outwork them, and I wouldn't care. And that's what it is. But I think for the most part, guys you meet, it's definitely a little different if you're like hunting without hiking. Like, I mean, I've had situations where I've been up like, 6,000 feet looking for mule deer, and someone else is up there, and I'm like, good job. You're looking for small mule deer up in the middle of nowhere too. Well, right
Yeah.
on. Like, good for you.
Attaboy.
Like, and in that case, it's like, cool. Like, I'm going to hunt, like you said, like, hey, I'm going to hunt this way. You're going to hunt that way. Hey, we can switch. Like, here's my in reach. Just be a
Yeah.
human about it. If I came up
Exactly.
there and it's a tiny ass zone and someone has been like looking at something sweet for a bunch of years that you haven't seen, and they're like, I know something's in here, or maybe they've got an LEH or something like that, then whatever. But yeah, I mean, etiquette's more like, hey, like, just be a good human, and then I think we can pretty much share the backcountry, which is what we should be doing anyways.
For sure.
But because you obviously hear the stories. You're in Montana, you hit a trailhead, there's 655 trucks there. Like, what are you gonna do, man?
What
Like,
are you
you're
gonna
gonna be
do?
hunting on top of guys left, right, and center. I hope
Exactly.
BC doesn't get that way.
Yeah.
I have a spot that keeps getting shown up to, and there's a lot of guys. I'm probably not going there anymore.
Yeah. Same here.
That's just all there is
Yeah.
to it. I don't know. If I
I
think
think
be a decent person first, and forget
Mhm.
and just enjoy the backcountry with somebody, and maybe the hunting comes second. That's maybe what
100%. And that's kind of
yeah,
how what happened. Like I said, great guys. We had a great interaction. Same thing. Like I said, found each other on Instagram after. We're talking. Still have chit chatted like about different hunts and stuff. Like, had a great interaction, the whole thing, and we ultimately played it that way. It just brought up like a larger question to be like, okay, hey, in British Columbia, is this something, because we don't live in Montana, right? And I've always had the mindset of like, hey, there's enough zones out here. If I see a machine or something on a trailhead, I'm like, okay, I'm heading over to the next trailhead, or going to my plan B zone or something, and being like, frick, should have got up another 20 minutes earlier or something like that,
totally.
right? Or
Yep.
or in our case, right, you're there for 4 days, like out back. So it was just a bigger question. Like I said, it was a great interaction, and I think that's kind of it seems like what everyone can agree on too, right? So
Yeah.
but
yeah.
it brings
I
up
think
bigger.
the big place to talk about like these scenarios is for BC, Spence's Bridge, and then the Alberta sheep season, because I've
Yeah,
heard some
man.
stories about the Alberta sheep
Dude.
season. Good God.
Dude.
Like
Like
burning
guys
camps,
getting in
you know,
borderline,
wrecking
burning camps
camps, fist
down,
fights in the
burning
bush.
trucks.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, burning trucks, guys getting shot at, guys shooting rams out from under them, like just winging bullets.
Wow.
Madness. Madness.
So
That sounds like
yeah,
good
you
stories for
should
next
have.
podcast.
Yes. Yes. Frick.
Oh, good
Boys, I
stuff,
got
man.
to peel out of here. I'm gonna try and get a little fitness in today.
Hey, well, as always, boys, it's been a blast chatting. Thanks for answering my questions here. Like I said, I've been thinking about that one ever since the last time, being like, I wonder what the boys' takes on is this. So
FargoneOutfitters.ca. Let's go.
.ca, fellas. Thanks. Hey, thanks for asking those questions too, man.
Yeah, man.
Always feel
stoked.
good bringing stuff like that up. So appreciate it.
Cheers, boys.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, gents. Have a great week, and we'll chat next.
Cheers. Have a good training camp, Reece.
Talk to you.
Hey, Nolan, can I
Yeah.
shoot a question at you quick?